For more than 30 years, teenagers have found fulfillment, friends, and faith while serving on Maranatha's project for their age group, Ultimate Workout. The trip is designed to be a shelter from the storm of pressures that can bombard teens with unique brutality. For 2 weeks, they can exist apart from the stressors that overwhelm their day-to-day life. But what substantial difference can 2 weeks make? In the grand scheme of one's life, Ultimate Workout is just a drop in the bucket. A moment on the mountaintop. Right? During the summer of 2024, 75 Ultimate Workout volunteers arrived in southern Peru with an excitement that was palpable. Their final destination was a town called Siquani, nestled almost 12,000 feet above sea level in the Andes Mountains. What this region may lack in oxygen levels, it makes up for with a rich historical tapestry. Remnants of the mighty Inca Empire exist alongside those of 16th century Spanish colonization and the modern infrastructure of today. Siquani is a bustling community full of friendly people. Its economy is based primarily on agriculture and small-scale commerce. Older residents keep historical customs alive by wearing traditional clothing and speaking Quechua, the language of the Incas. It is here where this year's volunteers set up camp.
We're staying in a sort of event place in Siquani. There, inside buildings, we have set up tents for extra privacy, and it's kind of nice, in my opinion. I've gone camping before, so it's comfortable for me. And I would usually sleep on the floor when going camping. This time I brought an air mattress. Very nice, very nice.
I think everything is fine, except it's really cold. That's my only complaint, is that the showers were cold and the tents are cold. It has to be called Ultimate Workout for something. Those cold showers really do wake you up in the mornings.
One would ask the question, why do we have these strenuous, difficult elements to this particular trip for teens at that? And I believe it's because it takes us to a place of vulnerability where we have to depend on one another for interaction and comfort and security. Then also it takes us to a place where God can really build you up.
Especially with like the altitude stuff, it can be really hard sometimes. Like you could just literally be picking up a brick or just picking up something and you'll feel like really out of breath. But then you'll just think, oh, I have to push through, I have to push through. Like I say that like all the time because it's like in the end, it'll be so worth it just knowing like you helped so many people out.
This year on Ultimate Workout, the kids we have are really good kids. We have really, really good kids from all over, different walks of life. Everybody has been good. Everybody has a willing spirit to serve. Everybody really just asks, how can I help? Can I help you do something else? Just really a servant heart, and I really like seeing that because no one's telling them or asking them to do that. They just go ahead and offer.
The team's servant heart was made especially evident by the amount of work they packed into just 2 weeks. Their largest project was the construction of 2 church buildings for Seventh-day Adventist congregations in Siquani.
Our primary job has been actually laying all the bricks, making sure that they're perfectly straight. And then every few layers we end up putting in rebar and concrete to help strengthen it.
It took me a couple tries to first get the mortar down very well, but I liked it because we were all working together.
You'd get really connected to everyone within your work site. You know, we'd all, share lunch together, sit at the work site, build together. It was really a really connecting experience.
This was Connor's first time on Ultimate Workout, but he made fast friends with fellow volunteers. One morning, he saw an opportunity to give one of his new friends a surprising wake-up call.
I met Gabriel three days ago, I think, at the airport in Atlanta. So yesterday we were having a group conversation about each other and learning about each other. And I learned that his birthday was today. So I was thinking oh, we should totally do something special for that, but I didn't know what yet. And then I remembered that this morning when I was eating breakfast, so I went to go see where he was, and they were saying, oh, he's still asleep. So I was like, oh, well, we should totally go wake him up.
And everyone decided that we were going to all walk up to where his tent was, and all the guys went inside of that room, and all the girls were standing outside, and we loudly sang him happy birthday to wake him up, which I think he partially enjoyed, and I think part of him was like, please go away so that I can get ready, but it was really fun.
Probably the best birthday experience I've ever had in my life, because I usually just sleep in my entire birthday. So that was great. I loved it.
When we come back, find out the other needs volunteers met on Ultimate Workout and meet one teen who carried out a legacy of service. On this year's Ultimate Workout in Sicuani, Peru, teen volunteers constructed 2 church buildings from the ground up. But they also gave 2 existing churches a fresh coat of paint.
When I first went in, I was kind of nervous because I was like, oh, this is going to take forever because the walls were chipping off. There was drawings and stuff stuck to the wall.
There was cobwebs and bugs kind of everywhere, and just random stuff kind of hung on the walls from things that kids have made or posters. So we had to clear all of that out. We had to wipe the whole thing with Clorox and paint it all. And by the end, you could see how much brighter it looked, how much bigger it looked with all the white on the walls. There was less color contrast. The sun was coming in better. And you could just see how happy that made everyone as they were walking in. And they just really loved the transformation of the church.
This was Tegan's first time on Ultimate Workout, but she was well aware of the profound effect it could have. Tegan's mom, Rachel, attended the second Ultimate Workout back in 1992 and experienced an event that was as impactful as it was improbable.
My mom went with a group of people and they all got struck by lightning. They were getting their hair braided and the storm started to come in, and so they decided to go under a canopy to finish getting it done. And the lightning ended up striking and it went down through her hip and out of her foot. She was paralyzed for at least a day. She remembers being sat in a wheelchair and being carried up the stairs and into a room where the doctors came in and told her that she wasn't going to be able to walk again. One of her friends was blinded and another one named Alex died. During this experience, a bunch of the missionaries came in and prayed over her, and she ended up getting feeling back in her toes, and by the end of the day she was able to walk again.
Despite the trauma and great loss that accompanied Rachel's trip, she was adamant Tegan experience Ultimate Workout too.
She sent me an Ultimate Workout this year because the whole experience got her to grow tremendously in her faith and she got to meet new people. She said that it was incredible being able to get outside of her comfort zone and that she just got to learn a lot more about what she believes and about what other people believe around the world too. On this trip, I've really been processing through joy in relationship to God and how He wants us to be happy. God does bring joy to everyone, and He's always there to kind of help us get back on our feet and not just do things the right way, but do things with a joyful and happy attitude.
Perhaps the teens who received the most energetic example of joy were those who led vacation Bible school programs. They did so at 4 locations in Sicuani for more than 500 spirited youngsters. Volunteers led songs, acted out Bible stories, taught crafts, and played games.
Adorable, adorable, adorable. One of them climbed on, when I was sitting down with them helping with their craft and passing out candies, one of them were starting to climb on me and saying, "Are you leaving yet?" in Spanish. "Are you leaving yet? Are you leaving yet? Please don't tell me you're leaving yet." One even just climbed on top of me and I just rode him around like an airplane. I don't normally I don't like kids that aren't, okay, I like kids as long as they're not in my pure responsibility, as long as they're not my main responsibility.
If I was a teacher, I think I would be a little stressed by it, but also understanding that they're excited too.
I want to see people smile. It's fun. Just like you're smiling right now. There it is, there's the smile. And you too, sir.
Recuerdo que empezamos la escuela con 5 niños, luego fueron llegando, cosa que llegamos a los 40 o 50 me parece. Y ya luego fue una experiencia muy bonita.
Kate is one of several volunteers on Ultimate Workout who are from Peru.
No es mi primer Ultimate Workout, es el segundo. El año pasado participé como staff de BBS y bueno, lo que me hizo regresar fue más que todo la comunión con Dios, cómo te ayuda, los amigos, las diferente cultura que tú puedes ver y observar.
Kate's Spanish came in handy for translating at VBS programs and another special project. One morning, a small group of volunteers attended an Independence Day parade in Sequani's main square. For several hours, they were engulfed in this jubilant throng, passing out small toys to children and 150 copies of Ellen White's The Great Controversy.
Fue una experiencia inolvidable porque cada padre venía y se acercaba, yo quiero un libro, y nosotros explicándoles y se veía que estaban interesados en saber acerca del libro, acerca de la escritora, acerca de la organización que éramos y por qué estábamos ahí regalando cosas para ellos y para sus hijos.
In addition to construction, painting, VBS, and literature evangelism, volunteers provided one more service to Sequani residents. A team of 3 healthcare providers, a dentist, translators, and teenage volunteers operated free medical clinics in 5 different neighborhoods.
On the medical clinic, each day you will rotate with a different doctor or you'll rotate through pharmacy or triage. It just changes per day. So in triage, you'll just take blood pressure, take their temperature and stuff like that. And then you can sometimes switch to one of the doctors where they will actually examine the patients and try and figure out the history of their problems and give them a solution to their problems as well. And then on pharmacy is where you'll be giving a paper that says what medications they should need and you'll find out what they need, and sometimes you'll prep antibiotics for shots as well. There's also the pastoral area where you will just pray for the people and give them advice and just try and help them through those struggles in those few minutes.
Medical volunteers stayed busy, and by trip's end, they provided health care to roughly 600 people who are used to suffering in its absence.
People come with so many stories, and it's so nice to listen to them and to try to understand how they're feeling and how we can better help them.
Natalia has enjoyed serving on Maranatha projects with her family since she was a little girl.
It feels wonderful going on mission trips, and you get a thought of happiness, and it's just really cool.
But as a teenager, she faced a new and confusing challenge that seemed to plague her constantly.
I really struggled with mental health, and particularly anxiety. As kids, we're just, happy, and we smile at everything, and we just seem so animated. But when you're dealing with mental health and anxiety, it's like you have a different lens and you switch a mindset. And so that has been really hard, and the way you perceive the world, the way you perceive other people, and especially yourself, you feel hopeless and you feel alone sometimes, like you're the only one that's dealing with this. And coming on this trip has allowed me to see that there's other people and that it's okay to have these emotions, and it's okay to feel this way.
Zuri is a nurse who helped lead Ultimate Workout's medical team, but not before battling her own mental health symptoms.
About 2 years ago, right before I had my baby, I had a miscarriage that kind of spiraled. I couldn't snap out of it, and it just got worse and worse and worse. Last year, for 12 months almost, more, maybe a little bit more, I was really suffering with depression, postpartum depression and anxiety, and I just wanted to die every day. A lot of work for me every day to get myself out of bed, every day to try to be a parent and a wife and a good worker and a good, sister and a good friend.
But on Ultimate Workout, Zuri discovered how her brokenness can heal.
I'm so grateful. It's brought so much freedom to my life, knowing that not only can I survive, but I can help other people. Not just patients, not just, hearing their stories and feeling the empathy and compassion that I've always had, but also with participants and sharing, like, you could feel this way, but God can get you through it, And if I were to tell one of the volunteers or one of the teens that are struggling with something similar, anything, it would be that it's just gotta keep moving forward. And one day God will show you there's color in this world, and there's so much beauty, and there's so much happiness and joy to be had. You don't have to live there.
I feel like struggling with anxiety is one of the strangest things, because you feel scared to tell people, but you want to get help and you want to speak up about it. And it's really, really scary to say something or to reach out to someone, to anyone that is struggling with anxiety or mental health. I want to say that you're not alone, and there's other people that feel this way too, and that God can use you to do so many amazing things that you never thought you'd do, and that was my experience, and yeah.
When we come back, learn what makes Ultimate Workout's atmosphere special and find out how this community changed lives. Ultimate Workout allows high schoolers to replace the strain of their daily stressors with that of volunteer work. It creates a focus shift from self to others. The trip's spiritual programming is designed to give teens another focus shift, one towards their Creator.
The worships that we've had each morning and evening have been absolutely incredible. We've had a really great music team, and then it's also just been lovely to be able to listen to each of the sermons that have been preached.
It's really nice because you can be on praise team if you want to. Anyone can join, and you can go up and sing in front of everyone. If that's not your cup of tea, then you can sit back and look at the lyrics, which is something I have to do a lot because I never remember the lyrics to the songs.
The sermons, I think those are also one of my favorite parts of Ultimate Workout, especially the sermon that CJ just did where everybody was crying. Really, because I feel like in that moment everybody kind of felt like the Holy Spirit, and then nobody was really ashamed to be crying or like felt uncomfortable with it. And then like specifically all my friends came together and we all started praying together, and then that I really liked, and then I think I'll probably remember that forever, honestly.
We just feel like one family worshiping God together, and it's just a wonderful experience. Like the worship and the staff that are overseeing the worship service it's just an amazing experience.
You can tell the Holy Spirit is there. I mean, it's something that's palpable that I feel every year when I'm on Ultimate Workout. I've attended 9 Ultimate Workouts. This is my 9th one, being staff, and I keep coming back every year because I love working with the teens. The reason why I'm so passionate about working with teens and mentoring teens is because in my church growing up, I never had that. I was always the youngest person. There was a big age gap, age difference between me and the adults. I was always the little kid or the young teenager, didn't have any friends at church. So I remember saying to God, when I grow up, I want you to use me to be a difference in teenagers' lives. So that's why Ultimate Workout is extremely special for me, extremely special.
Dina's childhood desire for an uplifting community of peers is something still felt by teens today.
I didn't really know much about Adventism. That's what it's called, right? My parents aren't religious, so it's kind of been a struggle since they don't go to church. My grandpa is an Adventist, but You know, I never really discussed all that with him until like recently, like this year. I was talking to my grandpa and I was telling him, you know, I'd really like to start doing like more volunteer stuff and all that, because he does that stuff all the time. And so, you know, he introduced me to this. And then he was like, oh, well, today's the last day to sign up for this one in Peru. And I was like, oh, that would be so cool. I would love to do that. So then, you know, he called Maranatha and all that, and I got signed up for it.
Little did Connor know, his last-minute registration for Ultimate Workout would change his life in incredible ways.
You know, I learned a lot about God and how you can always trust Him through, you know, the darkest times and the most struggle in your life. I'm really grateful that I had these friends that know a lot about God and are connected to God, because then they could help me further my relationship with God. And I'm really grateful for it, because back at home I don't really have a lot of that.
Connor became one of 9 volunteers who chose to be baptized at the end of the trip.
When I told my grandpa that I was getting baptized, he was really proud of me. I really wanted him to be proud of me, and he was. So that was really heartwarming, and it made me feel happy. It made me feel whole inside. I didn't feel empty. It felt really great to have someone to support me like that. I got baptized in a pool, like a plastic pool, and we used water jugs to fill it up. So, you know, it wasn't something like a river or anything, you know, but it's still special. It still meant the same thing to me. I got baptized with my friends that I've met on this trip, so that was really special, and that meant a lot to me.
Good at this?
What effect can just 2 weeks have? Is Ultimate Workout inconsequential in the grand scheme of one's life? Is it a mere moment on the mountaintop? Or can its impact withstand a return to normalcy?
I really want this trip to not just be a mountaintop experience. I'm really hoping that I can take some of the things I've learned back home with me, and this experience has really pushed me to grow in ways that I didn't even think I needed to.
Can its healing survive life's afflictions?
Putting my trust in God on this mission trip has meant so much to me, because my imperfections are not important. He's important. And that's what really has empowered me, that even though I have anxiety and that just affects my life, I know that I can trust God and that He can lead me through.
I just remember I woke up one day and I could see color again. And I didn't even know I was living in a very black and white world. And so to be here and to have survived for that entire year, and to be stronger, and to be able to like help others has been amazing.
Can it change lives?
My history with Ultimate Workout started in 2019. It was the summer of my sophomore year in high school. And that's where I actually decided to rededicate my life to Christ. And that's what started really the beginning to my ministry.
Really grateful to go on this trip, and I think that it'll really be a turning point in my life, and I can come back next year and do the same thing.
I just wish everybody could do it, because it's just such a great life-changing experience.
I feel like everything is it just comes together, and it just forms a place in your heart that you're gonna keep for forever.